Hello, my wonderful spirit guides. Today I am going to be doing a video that is basically just wrapping up 2022, talking about my experiences through 2022, and then in the second half of the video it will be me doing like a kind of ranking of the albums that came out in 2022 that I reacted to. So yeah, I'll be putting them in different tiers, stuff like that. If you want to skip to that part, I'll probably put a timestamp in editing if you're not interested in me and my life, which is totally fine, by the way. But yeah, I just wanted to take my time with it, chat about the year and so on like that, and I would like to probably do it the next year as well and be able to look back at this year and be like, wait, that is so different, or maybe it's so similar, what do I want to change, who knows. But number one, I did actually want to point out this really cool top. I love the band The Doors, and yes, this is like a vintage Doors top with the Lizard King. My mum got it for me for Christmas, and as I wanted to wear it today, I thought, you know what, I might do a makeup look that kind of goes with it. And I think I did a pretty good job. Like, I haven't done something like this in a while where I do, like, normally I'll have, like, if I'm doing red, I'm doing red. If I'm doing blue, I'm doing blue. But this is fun because I actually got to mix the orange and the blue, make it a bit different. And I like what I did under the eyes here. And even cooler, I found my orange heart sunglasses, so I know this is more of a summer look, but come on, who cares, eh? I'm not really one for sticking to the rules when it comes to creativity. But anyway, let's get into it. So, first of all, I'm going to start with last year, last January. January is my birthday month. I am a Capricorn. And in January, for my birthday, I went to London with my cousin. She paid for pretty much, well, yeah, everything. I think she paid for like the train, hotel, and the show, and even like a breakfast at Tiffany's thing. Like, honestly, it was just, I felt almost overwhelmed with how kind that was. And me and my cousin had been close like our whole lives, so like, you know, it was lovely to go away with her and her sister, so my other cousin, and her brother, so my other cousin. So yeah, it was like a cute birthday, definitely, and it was crazy. But what I will say is, like, my body, I was in a place where my body was really getting me down. I don't mean the way I look, but the way I felt. So like all my back issues and my you know, full body issues were like very much at a peak, I guess. I don't know. Walking around London, I bought some bad shoes, and when I bought those bad shoes, like, I thought, oh, it would be fine. They're just a pair of like little flat, you know, like dolly shoes, whatever you want to call them, pumps. I thought I'd be fine, but like, I found that when I wore them, it just had, there was no support for my body, so I was entirely uncomfortable. And then when I got home, I felt very sad about the pain I felt, because I was like, I'm only 27 years old. How, like, how is this real? I'm walking around like so slowly. I'm like hobbling like an old woman. So yeah, when I got back, I was already in physio, actually, to be honest. I was already in physio, but I think I joined the gym. Yeah, I think I joined the gym with my friend Abby. Yeah, so we joined the gym for a bit. Yeah, sorry, that's just such a weird memory. But yeah, we joined the gym for a bit, and actually it gave me a lot of confidence. Number one, going to a gym like is just scary anyway, so, and to find that I was actually quite comfortable at the gym and didn't feel that embarrassed was already like a big whoa, something that like I didn't expect could happen to me. You know, I imagined going to a gym and being like, oh God, no. But actually no one really cares about what you're doing. So I do recommend going to your local gym or whatever gym you want to go to, because no one actually cares what you're doing. It's not like these videos you see on Instagram where you get all these big buff men all oiled up doing this, and these women with like their massive bums being sexy. Like, yeah, you might see people like that there, but they are doing their own thing. They're not looking at you. You know what I mean? Like, you can just be doing your own thing and whatever. And sometimes in the gym, there's no one there. So, you know, you can pick out what times are good, peak times. I would like to go to the gym again. The only reason I stopped is because I couldn't afford it one month, and then it took my money like as a like like I got charged £25 for not being able to pay it. And I thought, you know what, that's really annoying. And I think it was nearly summer anyway, so I was like, the gym, I'll just do other things. So yeah, we quit the gym. And I spent so much of this year trying to find a new swimming pool that I only ended up going swimming once at a swimming pool. And I found that I am not very strong at swimming anymore. And it's kind of sad because only a couple of years ago I was like, and of course before the pandemic and everything, I'd go swimming like twice a week, and I would at a pool that I like a local pool where no one would go. In fact, the pool was part of a blind hotel, so when people were there, they were either like just a couple people just doing serious swimming, depending on what times you go, of course, or it's blind people, so they can't even see you. like that was actually kind of relaxing. One time this thing did happen. This wasn't in 2022, but I do have to tell this story. This video is going to be long, isn't it? I'm way too ADHD for this. Okay, I'll try. But there was this one story when I went to that swimming pool with my friend Harriet, and this was like 4 years ago, 5 years. I don't even remember. I was younger than I am now for sure. I was swimming underwater, being like a mermaid, like, oh, flexing my body, just being all like, I love swimming like a mermaid, just living out my childhood dream. And then I opened my eyes in the water. I think I had goggles on. I think I did. And there was this man and he was swimming underneath me, and I freaked out. So like I swung my hips forward and I ended up straddling the man. Oh God, I was drunk. And then he was all like, oh, and I think he was blind as well. And I was straddling him, and for some reason I didn't get off right away. I just was like holding him. As he was swimming and like panicking, and then I finally got off. I turn around, I look at Harriet, and Harriet's face is just like, and I'm like, and we just look at each other like, and it's one of those moments where it's like so funny you can't laugh. It's like it's shocking but hilarious that you're just like like that. And oh my God, I love that memory. I literally felt like Peter Griffin, like when he's naked riding the dolphin or unicorn, whatever it was. It's like a dolphin, I think. That's what I felt like. Oh God, yeah. But anyway, I miss that swimming pool. It's closed now, and so I couldn't go last year, which was sad. So I haven't been swimming in ages, and I absolutely love swimming. I like it more than walking. I like it more than pretty much any exercise, if I'm honest. But anyway, moving on. I went to a lot of gigs in the last year. I went to see Aurora, I went to see Dorian Electra, and this was all in either April or March, I can't remember. I went to see Not Loose with my boyfriend, and Not Loose is like a hardcore metal band that he likes. And when we got there, I was saying like, oh, I'm going to stand at the back, you know, with my back problems and stuff. I'll stand at the back, but you do what you want, darling. I'll be here drinking. So, so we went out for a cigarette because, you know, I smoked. And I went out for a cigarette. And then as we came back in, he was like, so yeah, do you want to like stand to the side maybe? Because I want to go to the front. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm fine. And then like I looked to the left and I clocked like this space where there's like the fence at the front, you know, like the metal railing, and then like security person was there, and it looked like a good space. And I was like, you know what, like I would stand there because there's a railing and it's not in like directly in the center where people could stage dive on me, because there was loads of stage divers. I could see that from the band that played before the main event. I thought, you know, that might not be so bad. He was like, really? I was like, yeah, I want to try. So we went and stood there, and I was gripping the fence just like, this is going to be scary, this is going to be crazy. Anyway, the band came on, we got the perfect view of them. Like we were to the side, but it wasn't like, you know, like to the side where you're like, when you're sat on a sofa here and you're looking at the TV here, it's not like that. It was, you know, it was a full view. It felt like being in like a VIP like area, honestly. And the band started and it was so fun, and I got so into the spirit of it. I was like headbanging, and then you were seeing the stage divers. You know what I mean? It's like this whole like, we were in there, we're in it, and we were just like, you know, hip bumping each other like in a jokey way just because we were excited, and headbanging and just being like, yeah. And because I tried to listen to some of the songs before I saw the band, I felt like I knew some of them, and I was like, this is amazing. So, and it was so cool to see my partner like it as well, because like he hadn't been to a gig in a really long time, and I could just tell he was like really excited and happy, and because he suffers a lot with depression and so on, it was just so nice to see him so alive and like, oh, it was just like such a loving moment. It just felt amazing, and I know that he was watching me, being like, I'm so glad that you're joining in with me, and like, you know, and I will, to be honest, I'm someone that will try my best to join in, even when it's not good for me. But I'll be like, oh, I don't want to be the loser in the back. I want to be part of the party. But so I was, and it was really fun. So that was great. And then of course I went with my boyfriend to see Aurora and Dorian Electra. Both were fantastic, two completely different venues. I've got vlogs on those, so I got a vlog for the Aurora concert and a vlog for the Dorian Electra concert. I might link them in the description, so please go check them out if you're interested in how that all went. But no, that was really, really fun as well. And it was fun to travel. Like when we went to see Aurora and Dorian Electra, we stayed up in Bristol for a few days, and I found that I love Bristol as a city. I'm not really a city kind of girl because I live by a seaside. You know, I'm a seaside town girl. But Bristol, I just love. It just has like an energy that is just nice. I like it there. I want to go again this year for sure. Gigs, and then we saw Sebdelisa in May in London. That was really good too, but a little bit different like to the other gigs we'd gone to. It wasn't as intimate as I'd want it to be. It was a big venue with lots of people in, which is amazing for Sebdelisa. I mean, of course, like I'm happy, but I almost wish it was like when we went to see Dorian Electra, we went to a place called The Fleece in Bristol, and it's just like a kind of underground, you know, one room, one standing level, the bars here, you know, you can only fit like maybe a few hundred people in it. I don't know. But in the Sebdelisa one, it must have been like a few thousand, maybe a couple thousand, maybe a few thousand, I don't know. But, and we were really far at the back. And my boyfriend started to get quite a lot of anxiety. He gets anxiety with like lots of talking and stuff, like sensory stuff like that. I'm okay with that. I'm not good at with like visual overloads, but with lots of talking, I find that quite comforting. I think I just grew up in like a loud, busy household and going to festivals my whole life as a child, so I'm very much used to lots of sounds. I hate repetitive sounds though. Maybe that kills me. But oh yeah, I can't really swear now on YouTube. I'll silence it or something, whatever. That was fun, but it was a little bit stressful. And then that same night, I got a message from my ex-boyfriend's like newest ex, if that makes sense. Literally just, it's quite personal, so I'm definitely not going to go into it, but like describing something about him and his family and asking me if I knew about it from the past. And I did know, and she is actually going for a lot of trouble with him. They're not together anymore, but they have a baby together. And that was a difficult thing. And that happened whilst I was in London seeing Sebdelisa. So it was all very like difficult. My boyfriend with his anxiety, the concert not being that intimate. And then this message, and like we'd done hours of driving that day. It was just a lot. And, you know, like any kind of ex, you don't really want them to be part of your life at all. Like, you don't want to think about them, you don't want anything to do with them. But in this scenario, I really had to do the right thing and help. So I did, but it was weird for me. It was eye-opening. It was like clarity, but sad as well, because I don't know if you know what I mean, but like when you've been with someone who really messed you up, and then they get new partners, there's a bit of you, the bitter part of you, that feels like, I don't want them to be happy. I don't want them to have everything that they, you know, have. I don't want them to be good in this relationship, the new relationship, because why did I get treated so badly? Why does this person get everything I wanted and I just got trod on? But then in the other part of you, as you get further along in your healing, is like, I sincerely hope that he's a better man. Like, I hope he's just better. I hope he's great to his new girlfriend. I hope that he is the person he should have been with me. You know, there's that part, that empathy part and compassion part. And then so when to find out that he was still just rubbish, it hurt, because I was like, there was a little part of me that was like, knew he wouldn't change, and I knew it wasn't me, right? And then the other part was like, but I'm sad because I hate that this has happened to more girls. And it's just, yeah, so that was hard. Oh yeah, also, actually, I do want to say last year, I did a lot more. I went to my local pub a couple of times in the early winter, like around January, February, March sort of thing. April, I don't know, January, February, April, March. Okay, anyway, but and did a couple open mic nights. Not a lot, but I did like off the cuff ones, and I actually wish I did a bit more, but I think I was just so busy it was hard to do. And every time I went, I'd end up getting drunk, and then I'd be like, no, I'm trying not to drink. Like, you know, I gave up drinking for like solidly for like 4 months, and then after that 4 months, I now drink very, very, like, I'm very smart when I drink. I drink only sometimes. I know what I'm doing. I'm just a very different person when it comes to alcohol. I used to drink a lot when I was younger, but we all do in our early 20s, right? But not everyone, but I did. But yeah, no, that was good. Met with a few friends that I don't see all the time. Yeah, blah, blah, summer, and I don't even, like I said, I barely remember summer. Like, I feel like I barely remember it because all the things I did were very simple. Like, I'd go to my family beach hut, spend time there. Yeah, I did a lot of that with like my friends and all our children, and have a drink, or not have a drink, you know, just, I feel like this year I was really trying to get a tan, but I ended up just getting burnt and not much of a tan. And I was looking at everyone else being like, how are you so tanned? It just didn't happen for me. And I don't think it ever will. But I was trying. I was like actually trying to get one. But no. But this might be very boring. But, you know, I'm just going to keep going. Because Even if you don't like it, I might like it a year later just to look at what my year was like. But yeah, I had so much fun at the beach hut trying to get my tan. And yeah, summer was honestly just relaxed. Like, I can't even remember any big events happening. And like, in a way, isn't that like amazing? Like, don't even remember one big event that like was bad. Like, that's just like, oh, nice. I don't know, that's just cozy. I think like it was like the start of August or something, and me and my friend went to Dartmoor, which is like a place here in England. It's basically just like where wild ponies and sheep and cows live, and it's all like the moors, you know, like there's lots of tors and moors and valleys and fields and rocks, and it's just a really cool place basically. We went up there, and obviously this is a bit naughty for me to admit, but we were trying to have our first go with the old how do I put this? The old chicken and mushroom pasties. Yes, I don't know how to describe it. And so we took a little bit of the chicken and mushroom pasties, and nothing happened. And we were doing it, and I remember in that time I was setting my intention for it, right? And I was like, I want to set my intention to let go of some stuff. I want to get clarity about decisions I should make. I want to feel ready. And without saying it to my friend, well, I think I did say it to her, but I don't know if I went that deep into it. I wanted to give up codeine, dihydrocodeine, which I was on, which is like, listen, codeine, when I was coming off it, I had 4 at a time of just regular codeine, and it didn't even feel like one of dihydrocodeine. So that's all I can say. That's all I can say. But my intention was really to be like, should I give this thing up? Like, I need to somehow give it up. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like, the little voice in my head started saying, you're taking it for silly reasons. But anyway, I set my intention to do that, but nothing happened. And we just kept walking around being like, does that tree look a bit like a dinosaur? And I was like, yeah, but I think that's just, you know, when you can see shapes in the clouds. And I don't think it was really working at all. But anyway, we went and got like a massive McDonald's when we got in the car, all like this. Her boyfriend picked us up, and we were all like, didn't work. Can we get McDonald's? So we drive down to get loads of food. But anyway, then at the end of August, I went and did my favourite thing of the year, one of my favourite things, and that was go to a music festival that I absolutely adore. And I had the best time, and honestly, I just felt like I was at my peak, just felt like me, like I was set, all my boundaries were set, like very much like, I don't like doing this, so I won't do it. I'm gonna do what I want at all times, and people will just have to know that, so don't even ask me or try and persuade me. You know, like, I wasn't trying to be unbudgeable or like, you know, and stubborn or annoying. I mean this in a very wholesome way, like, you know, with all my body issues and stuff like that I was talking about, like, I wanted to sit most of the time. As I had my camp chair, and everywhere I went, I'd bring my camp chair and I would sit down on my camp chair like a little old lady, drinking a gin, pink gin. You know, I loved it. It was so good. And then on the Saturday, the chicken and mushroom pasties came out once again. Okay, and this time I was like, it has to happen. It has to happen. So, I don't know what it is about me, but my brain, it takes a lot to get me to change. I think I'm already fucking crazy. I'm already weird and wacky, and I also have a very tight grip of control on things. I just do. I don't know why. I don't know what that is, but I'm very, you know, like I just grip it. I think I've just had so much lack of control in my childhood and stuff. So like now I'm very, yeah. But anyway, everyone was having fun, and they were all being like, oh, the sky is so blue and the grass is feathery. And I was just like, yeah, I'm just normal. So, you know, I was just like, okay, fine. And then later in the evening, I was like, I went and saw one of my favourite bands, which is the Dandy Warhols. And I came back and I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. I want more now of it because everyone's having fun. And like, you know, I was just down there with my friend's friend and her boyfriend, and he was all like, and he was clapping, and it was like, whoa, like laughing at it. And I was like, oh, that looks so fun. And I've always been a little bit scared of like, you know, things like that. But I was like, no, like the fear had kind of gone. Now I was like, no, I'm just ready now. Anyway, I got back up there and one of my friends was like, oh, I've got some more if you want. And I was like, oh, I don't know, should I? Yeah, okay, like it's not working. But anyway, did it. And then I was like, we'll see. And then like I was just like being normal, chatting with friends, laughing, la la la. And suddenly everything just went like, it's about like, you know, like how your mind and your brain is like, is always is like active. You're like blah blah blah. It's almost like overwhelming. You know, things are just there. Blah, blah, blah. But and especially when you're at a festival when it's like noises and stuff. But everything just felt like it went. And I was just like this weird calm feeling. Like I was just like. And I was just looking around, looking at lights, and I was like, something's happening. Like I felt something was different, but I couldn't tell if it was just I wanted to go to bed or like, it was like a numbness almost. And then I started getting these yawns, so I was like, and I'd like yawn really big, like, and I'm like, okay, I heard that that's a sign of something, you know, a build up of the old chicken and mushroom pasty. So then I started to feel it all rising, and then suddenly I am just in fits of laughter with my friends, and I'm just like, we are laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. I'm like, okay, this is a lot of laughter, and I kept feeling silly. Like I kept being like, no, this is silly now. Come on now, it's silly now. Let's stop doing this. But everything was just so funny. And the funniest thing as well, I didn't get like crazy visuals. I did get some perception stuff where like we had a big gazebo, and the gazebo looked like it'd be like really small, and then it would like grow in size, like depending if what person I'm looking at. So if I'm looking at a person over here, it's like a big gazebo, then I look at the person here and then it would shrink. So I'd get stuff like that. But it was mainly when I closed my eyes, I'd see like stars and stuff, like, I don't know, but everyone else was getting more visual stuff, but I wasn't really, I don't know why. But I was extremely like having a funny time. And then this whole character started to happen because I really needed to wee. And when you have a chicken and mushroom pasty, you feel very like weird, like you feel like you can't really control your body that well. So I was finding it hard to even stand up. So when I did stand up, I was like, no, I don't like this. This feels very strange. I'm going to sit back down. So I sat back down, and they were like, no, come on, Fanny, you need to go for a wee. And I was like, I can't. It's too scary. Everything feels weird when I stand up. And then I stood up once again to do something. I can't remember what it was. And as I went to sit back down, my two friends were like, grabbed my arms and were like, no, we're taking you to go for a wee. You're not sitting back. And I was like, I can't do it. I'm just laughing so hard. And then suddenly this big Queen character came out, and I was like, because I had this long skirt on, and oh God, I had this long skirt on, and I was like, but I'm the Queen. And then I was treating them like they're my two guards taking me to the royal bathroom. And so like I knew I couldn't go to an actual toilet, so I was just gonna wee near a bush because come on, nature wees, whatever. I grew up near muddy fields, so nature wees are just a normal thing for me, okay? But so anyway, I'm linked arms, I'm like, guards, take me to the bathroom. Anyway, and then I finally just drop my skirt and go, I'm ready. And then somehow managed to urinate. And then afterwards I was like, I did it. And I was like, roll out the red carpet. And I was like, just being the Queen. I can't even explain it. Not the Queen of England, but my own Queen. Anyway, and then this theme carried on all bloody night. I was just the Queen. I was talking to my friend, like one of my friends, and being like, she asked me for a lighter, and I was like, excuse me, is that how you ask for a lighter? And she was like, oh, sorry, Queen Fern, sorry, Queen. I'm like, that's more like it. You know, it was just became this strange energy. Like, you know, when you have chicken and mushroom pasties, it's meant to like bring up like emotional things or things that you know, like things that are within you that are like give you clarity on things. Like somehow I'm just a massive narcissist who thinks she's a queen. Well, I don't know what it was. I was a very good queen, actually, I thought. I wasn't too cruel. I let my friend sit in my throne every now and then, actually. I know this is such a long story about this one part, but it was a profound moment for me that, last year. It was something I'd never done before, so of course I'm going to go into it a bit. Anyway, the night goes on and it's just me and my one friend, Rosie, left. And she's like predominantly like my best friend Harriet's friend, which Harriet brought her along, and me and Rosie have met a few times before anyway, but we really just were like bonding, and I feel like we're really bonded now, just because of that festival. I don't know, she's just lovely. But anyway, we were just chatting just a lot of random stuff, and then this annoying man came over to the gazebo. And he'd been talking to us earlier in the day, like talking to lots of us. And I just wasn't really paying attention to him earlier in the day. I was just like, who's this guy? Don't really care. I'm never really interested. Like when it's just like random old guy talking to, I don't care. Sorry, I don't. He was drunk and, you know, whatever, I wasn't bothered. But anyway, later on he came to the gazebo and he was like, hello. And we were like, oh, hello, you okay? And he was like, do you mind if I sit down? And I was like, sure, yeah, go on then. And he was being alright, but he was going on and on about like boring stuff, and I was like, actually started to feel like my whole mood had shifted, like I was going into a bad kind of mushroom and pasty moment. Mushroom and pasty, chicken and mushroom pasty moment, but everything just felt a bit like, okay, like, this isn't the vibe I was into. Like I was having so much fun and now I just feel a bit meh. But anyway, and then it got worse because I had my legs up like my skirt is basically, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a skirt and then it has like a flap in the middle and then like slits on these sides so your legs can come out. That sounds so stupid, but yeah. Yeah, whatever. I guess that makes sense. But anyway, so I had my legs like not crossed like this, but like more manly, like this. No, whatever. Okay, I had my legs like this. Oh, I can't do it. But anyway, so I had like shorts on, like skin, like slim wear underneath like these shorts. But you could see my legs, you could see my thigh, like not the whole thigh, but like a lot of the thigh. Anyway, he said, oh God, he looked at me and he goes, oh, I love big thighs. Something like that. And he goes, I just love thick thighs on women. And I was like, instantly just was like, oh no, like, I was like, oh, okay. You know, I just felt so like strange. And I went, oh, do you? Like still trying to be like polite, I guess, you know, like trying to be like, oh yeah. And then he kept saying to my friend Rosie, like, oh, do you want to come and do this thing with me tomorrow? And I kept trying to touch her and kept being like, oh, you're beautiful, sexy, beautiful, and like saying to me about the thighs, whatever. It was just a weird thing. Anyway, it was just happening and I was trying to be like, like, you know, when you're just trying to be normal, but it's weird and you want them to go. Anyway, it got to a point and I was like, no, what have I been doing recently? And what did I say about this festival? I said, I want to be authentically me. I want to have boundaries. I want to enjoy myself to the best degree. And I was like, you know what? This acting polite thing, this thing that I'd done my whole life and ended up getting me in horrible situations when I was a very young girl, because I would be submissive and polite and stuff and to men and like was, you know, basically grown to feel like I should be like that. I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing it. And even though I was on the chicken and mushroom pasties, I found this like confidence in me and went, and I still made it funny. I'm sorry guys, but I still made it funny because because I had chicken and mushroom pasties. I just randomly just went, I saw him getting a bit close to Rosie and I went, visiting time is over! Like, as the Queen. And he was like, what? And I was like, visiting time is over! I'm the Queen and it's my rules, get out of my palace! And which was the gazebo. And he was just like, oh, sorry, Queen, I didn't mean to, I'm sorry, Queen, I was like, get out! And he was like, no, I'll be good, sorry, I've just had a lot to drink. And I was like, no, really, get out. Like, I just completely went from being get out, and I was like, and when he wasn't taking it, and was still trying to, like, be persuasive or joke around, I was like, no, really, get out. Like, I just found that seriousness in me for a minute. I'm like, get out. And, like, even though the visiting time is over was funny, it just didn't work. So I got annoyed. I was like, how dare you absolutely not listen to the Queen? How dare you defy the Queen? So I was like, get out. And he was like, getting up, and he's like, oh, is that mine? Like, trying to pick up my bag, my handbag. Handbag?
In a handbag. A handbag?
But, and I was like, no, that's mine. Clearly it's not yours. You know, he was a very cis white male. This handbag was not his. He was like, okay. And I was like, get out. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry now. And I was like, F off. And then, like, he finally got out. And I just felt this, like I did still feel like that bad, like, kind of trip moment. Don't worry, it wasn't like terrifying, it was just more of a mood thing, like it makes your mood feel low. And I just looked at Rosie and went, you were right. And I was like, was that all right that I did that? And she was like, that was amazing, that was really good, well done. And I was like, I just felt like I had to do it, I didn't like him being here. She was like, no, well done. And just her saying well done made me feel so fucking strong. Like, it just made me feel like amazing. Like, it made me feel like, yeah, well done. Yeah, well done. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Like, my boyfriend was asleep in a tent and it was just her and I, and we're in this gazebo and it's a festival and we're, like, you know, under the influence of chicken and mushroom pasties. So it was just so cool. I felt really good. But then after that moment, I suddenly felt that feeling of I can't move again. Like, it was hard to move. I felt not good. And I wanted to get all the chairs, and I started to get paranoia. So I wanted to get all the chairs, like the camp chairs, in the gazebo. I wanted to zip the gazebo up. I wanted to make it seem very private. I didn't want anyone suddenly start thinking he might come and try and steal things, because he was trying to steal my bag. He was trying to steal tobacco as well, that was there. I just wanted to get into this mode of safety. And because I was under the influence, I was like, I don't actually feel like I can. I just about managed to get myself to the tent, and where my partner was asleep, and it was like 2 a.m. or something. And I said to him about the situation, and then he went out to check the gazebo, but actually Rosie and another friend had actually packed everything away, and I was like, oh my god, thank god. But yeah, I just felt really upset by that. But anyway, as I went to go to sleep and I closed my eyes, the visuals were just insane, and I was like, oh, this is getting kind of annoying now. I just want to go to sleep. That's the thing with things like that. You want to be able to turn it off when, you know, you want to turn it off when you're done. But I was just like, okay, I'll just chill with it. Even the next day, like when I woke up, I was like, oh God, I still find it hard to move. But then, yeah, got over it. Felt completely normal the next day. Everything was good again. Had such a funny night, like so many funny memories, like so many funny sayings just from the night. It was a really good time, other than that weird man, like. But actually that weird man ended up being a good thing, in the sense that I found that courage in me to be like, off, and not just sit there and be polite and feel uncomfortable. I was like, nah, go away. Yeah. And now I just feel so much stronger in that, like, in general, because of that moment. Anyway, so we enjoyed the rest of the festival. It's me and my partner's anniversary on the Sunday of that festival, like the date and so on. So we go and do our own thing and watch the fireworks together, because it's the last night, so they do fireworks. I don't know, it's just a nice tradition that we have. We get home, and this is where the year turned sour, because the year up until this point had been okay. It'd been pretty good. Like, we'd done lots of gigs. We went and I did birthday things. I did birthday things with my daughter. You know, it was fun. It was nice. And like, you know, just like the normal bad stuff, like a bit of anxiety, mental health stuff, bad back stuff, just normal stuff. But then my year just completely flipped on its head after my peak, which was this festival, which was like the best time ever. Yeah, just flipped as soon as I got home and saw that only one of my cats was there. And then he didn't come in all night. And then the next day I was like, I'm gonna have to say he's missing, because I don't know where he is. And all I could feel is this sick guilt. And we are up and down the road looking for him, all going across the town looking for him, printing up so many leaflets. We did everything you could to look for an animal. I put my worn clothes outside, I emptied the Hoover contents outside so I could smell the house. Honestly, I can't even tell you the amount we did. Like, I was walking around everywhere in pitch darkness early in the morning. It was just mad. Anyway, I get a phone call, and I'm not going to go into the story fully because I have talked a bit about it anyway on YouTube. We got to see him in the vet, and I got to stroke him, and we thought we were going to collect him the next day and he was going to have surgery because he got hit by a car, but turned out he actually just passed away from dehydration. Horrible. And it was the first real heavy grief I'd felt, like the first real painful amount of grief I'd felt, which is kind of weird because obviously my partner's brother passed away only a couple years ago, or a few years ago now, which was of course extremely painful too, but I felt more like a person that was there for my partner and my daughter and so on. And, you know, my grief was there, but I had to kind of be strong, whereas this was different. This was like my child, and like, it was the worst feeling in the world. Do you know what? I'm gonna change this angle because I need to sit down. Yes, okay. Sorry, just had to set it up so I could sit here. This lighting's a bit crazy, isn't it? It's quite dark, but I kinda like it. It's intimate. Sorry, I've had the flu, so I'm all like, still sounding weird and keep coughing and yeah, whatever. Yeah, so my cat passed away. I don't need to go into it too much now. I think a lot of you know from Instagram, and I think I did a video talking a bit about it. Weird time for me. It's hard to remember a lot of the details. Yeah, so I was grieving and I felt horrible, obviously, as you can imagine. And I started taking even more digocodeine. Just started taking more of it just to numb the pain. And like, I've talked a lot about that on the channel too, so I'm not going to go into that. But I finally decided to not take it anymore. I don't know how. I just started to realise this isn't right. This isn't right. So I rang my doctor, and this was the biggest thing. I'd already tried giving up other times before, but never told my doctor, but as like a safety net so that I could still get it if I wanted to relapse. I actually did just tell my doctor, and that was a whole scenario. I'll literally put the links in the description for those videos too. They're quite harrowing, some of them, kind of a very different side of me that was in the darkest place I've ever been in my life, ever. And I've gone through a lot of horrible things in my life, but like, this was the actual, what it does to you, what addiction does to you, and what withdrawal does to you it is just dastardly. Like, it's just awful. But yeah, and I remember in the second week I'd gotten over quite a lot of the physical side effects, but there was still a lot of lingering mental things. And I remember me and my partner were going to go out and do something that day because I wanted to do positive things, and he was in a bit of like a mood, you know, like I said, he's got depression himself, so he was a bit like, yeah, and I didn't seem up for it, and for some reason it just really riled me up, and I was like, because I really wanted to do something positive and he wasn't in the mood, so I was all like upset, and I was like, what? Like, I started saying to him, like, it hurts that you're like not wanting to do this when only the other day you were saying you did want to do it, and now you're being like, uninterested, I just felt this pain in me, and I just felt alone again. And like throughout the withdrawal, I felt alone anyway, because no one can really help you. Like no one can actually feel what you're feeling. So I just felt just alone, and like even in my recovery, like when I was trying to do positive things, I felt alone again, and that I was trapped. Anyway, I was holding like I had a pink hand mirror, and like out of nowhere just chucked it at the wall. And like my daughter was at school and all those things. Like no, I chucked it at the wall. My boyfriend was sat over there. I chucked it at this wall. It was not in aim of any person. But what I will say is I've got BPD, but I've not had an outburst like that, like in like years and years and years. Literally not even like since I was not since I was a teenager is what I'm trying to say. I threw the mirror at the wall, and I just started like crying and hyperventilating, panic attack. And just, oh God, I just hated myself. I just wanted to die, to be honest. And he was like, what the F, like, and he cleaned it up, but he was like in shock. And because I don't do things like that, I'm just not like that, of course. And the thing is, I didn't even, when I did it, it was like I didn't even feel my arm doing it. Like it was such an impulse of emotion that had just risen so high. And with withdrawal, obviously, it's just even crazier. And you've got to imagine, like, I've been numbing myself for years with this medication, and then to not have that numbing agent anymore, my emotions have just felt on such a big level. So when I chucked it, but I didn't even feel that, like, I didn't even think I was going to do it. I didn't know. Do you know what I mean? It's like I didn't plan it. Nothing. It just happened. And it shocked me enough to give me a panic attack. And I looked at my boyfriend, like we went in the kitchen, had a coffee and whatever. And I was like, I need to get away. I need to get away from this house, this place. I need a retreat. I need to go and do something. So I literally just spent like 150 quid, like thank God to my patrons, honestly. And also to know, like, patrons, all the money you ever give me for, what I do, like the videos and stuff, always goes towards good things. Always has, always will. So anyway, then this was something I needed. So I spent like 150 quid on like a caravan, like holiday place, like, like a caravan holiday park. And I rang up my sister and said, do you want to come? And I was going to take my daughter as well, because I felt so much guilt over this time about not being a good mum, because obviously when you're going through so much like grief and withdrawal, you kind of withdraw from anything. I didn't know I couldn't do videos. I couldn't be a great mum. Like I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything. I was just in hell. But anyway, I was like, no, I need to do something. I need to have some independence and be responsible of my sister and my child. I know it sounds almost risky, and my boyfriend was a bit like, but I was like, trust me, please trust me, I know what I'm doing. And my sister is 17 years old, so if anything went wrong, she's there. Like, do you know what I mean? If anything happened. But she is obviously under my care, but she isn't like a baby, My boyfriend kindly drives us up, and we get into the caravan, and I'm like, oh, it's exciting. It's like a 4-bedroom caravan. So I was like, oh, this is really nice. And I felt really happy, and it wasn't amazing weather, but it was good. I brought my tarot cards with me. And then I'd also rang my bestie, Abby, and said, do you want to come up on the Saturday? And she said yes. So like that was exciting too. We went from Friday to Monday, so I was excited that she was going to come on the Saturday. Anyway, we're in this holiday place, and a couple of hours away from where I actually live, 2.5 hours away or something. And it just felt nice instantly, because I was distracted with my sister. Like, she's funny, she makes me laugh, we're doing music. Things started to become clearer, and the nihilism I was feeling so heavily I was beginning to try and make peace with that nihilism. I was trying to ease it away almost. I needed to have new perspectives, new, views. And I mean that like literally, like I needed to look at different walls. I needed to look at different, environments to try and soak in the beauty of life. And there were a few pretty incredible things that happened. I did my sister's tarot and it was on point, and I'd never had it so on point before. And then I did my own tarot, and again it was incredibly on point. And I was like feeling very, very spiritually connected to the tarot. And I was like, wow, there's something really happening here. And in my tarot spread, it literally said something like, you need to go on a holiday. You need to retreat. You're going through a lot, but right now you don't need to think. You just need to let whatever's happening happen. And I was just like, what? It was just so accurate. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, this is I'm on the right path. I'm actually doing that. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, I've done the right thing by coming here. And I knew, my gut told me that I needed to get out, and I knew it was the right thing. I knew it wasn't like an impulsive dark thing, like throwing that mirror was an impulsive moment. I knew that this was the clarity that was forming, when I said I need to get out. Anyway, so I was so in touch with the tarot, and then like the next day, I woke up in the morning, I opened the door, and I'm like, looking outside, and then I'm like, girls, quick, come out here. And there are just like 10 ducks, like 10 or 12 ducks just waddling up like the bank and like coming up to like the caravan. I'm like, oh my God, that's so cute. And obviously seeing something so adorable like that, like nature just doing its thing and being cute, I was like, that gave me a little moment again of like, life can actually be very beautiful and sweet, and it can be so unexpected. And felt like seeing all these ducks. I think it was 10 or 12, I can't remember, but it felt like something spiritual about it, something like a message, I don't know. But anyway, it was nice. And then also that day I did some strong things as well, things that I find scary, and that is like getting on a bus. I'm not very good at public transport. Oh no. I get very scared of those things. But I really wanted to go into the town, like Newquay town, because we were in Cornwall. I wanted to go into Newquay and go to the aquarium and stuff like that. And I wanted the girls to have fun as well. So I put on my big girl boots and I was like, right, let's do it. Let's get myself out the comfort zone and go into the adventure zone. And that's what I did. And everything just went so successfully. I felt very empowered. And like when we got the bus back to the caravan place, I felt so strong. I just felt like, I can't believe I did all of that on my own in a town I don't know. And all. I don't know, I just felt great. And I don't know, it's all part of my healing. And there was something looking out for me, and there's something within me that was looking out for me and knew what to do. Anyway, we get back and my friend Abby is there and she's got a bottle of wine. And so we have some wine and then we make pasta with Parmigiano. That's what I always go. I'm like, make sure you get the Parmigiano. But anyway, whatever. And yeah, we all sit round, just us 4 girls, like my daughter as well. Like, oh, so cute. All played Uno, and we were telling like funny stories about our families and just silly little things. And then it was time for Monique to go to bed, and then my sister wanted to go to bed anyway. And then I did my friend's tarot, and it was just too spot on. It was amazing. And we just pretty much spent the whole night just talking about, like, each time I turn over one card, like it was just a 3-card spread, but I'd turn over one card and we'd do like an hour on that card just talking about it and drinking, talking, and smoking a bit of the devil's lettuce and just having fun. And I just felt this like warmth, this like, oh, I'm around beautiful people, and there's obviously so many other beautiful people that I would have loved to have been there as well, but I did what I could, in such a short, like, honestly, it was like a day. I literally was like, went the next day, I think. So yeah, I was actually so happy that, like, that these, you know, my lovely people could come in such short notice and be there for me. Like, that's just nice. But anyway, so next day, wake up, obviously a little bit hungover, but like feeling good, feeling calm, just feeling good, like, yeah, just good. And then when I got home the next day after that, I felt a bit more like me again. Like, I felt a bit more like, yeah, okay, things are looking up. I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. And like, and then, funnily enough, I started getting into like watching more horror films again. I don't know why. Like, how random is that? Like, I'm going through like a dark time, like grief and withdrawal, and then I purposely try and watch horror movies. Like, how is that going to make me feel any better? But I tell you what, it made me feel so much better, because everything I was watching had weird messages about death and what death means. And just putting these on for a minute because of the lights. I'm not that bad. I just want to put them on, all right? Just want to look cool, because they're cool, okay? Yeah, and I watched this show on Netflix called The Midnight Mass, and there was loads of conversations about death in it that were quite beautiful, and like I talk about different views of death. You know, some people who don't believe in God, some people that do believe in God, and like just like lots of thoughts. And I was like, that's like, even if it was a horror thing, it was quite beautiful. That made me feel closer and closer to accepting what death is. And like, you know, when my cat died, I'd gone into this big like thought of what happens when we die, like, and being terrified of death, so terrified of death that I wanted to be dead just so I could find out sooner, you know? It was hard. It was really hard, but I kept getting really crazy messages. And like, I know it was like the season of the spiders, and like spiders were coming in the house around that time, but I did keep seeing spiders. And there was a point where there was a spider in the corner of my room, and I just allowed it to stay there. And I'm telling you now, I am an arachnophobe. Like, I do not, I'm terrified as well. I'm seriously terrified. And whilst that spider was in my room, I dreamt about spiders every single night, like in horrific ways. And then I'd have to check it every morning, check it every night. But I wanted to keep it there because for some reason I just felt connected to it. Don't ask why. I called it Trinity as well, and guess what's even weirder? I called it Trinity, no reason, just for of the name Trinity. I don't know why, I just feel like it should be called Trinity. Later on that night, I was watching like a haunted thing, and they would talk about life path numbers, and I was like, oh, what's my life path number? And it's number 3. And I thought, that's really weird, because I just called that spider in my room Trinity earlier that day, and I was like, it's kind of like weirdly does something. Anyway, all these weird connective moments kept happening. Anyway, moving on. We get to Halloween, and I ended up having fun on Halloween. We did like a kind of finding sweets situation quest for my daughter. I can't think of what the name is. You know, when you're like an Easter egg hunt but sweets, and it had like little riddles and quests, and she had to go find them. That was good. And we made our own Halloween masks and took her trick-or-treating. And that was such another moment where I felt very like back to being like mum, and I did a good mum thing. And that felt really special, especially because I gave up my medication on the 8th of October. My cat died in September, and this is now the 31st of October, and somehow I'm there making masks and taking my child trick-or-treating after so much had just happened to me, you know, and so much had happened in my life. I was like, well, okay, like I feel immensely strong, but also like flabbergasted by the whole thing. Anyway, November goes by. I think it's pretty good. I think I just get back to work with like, you know, doing videos, and that was good. don't overly remember November that much. Christmas shopping here and there. December comes. I, of course, go back to London. It's funny, I went to London in January, and I went to London in May, and I went to London in December. But this time, again, I stayed there 2 nights, but this time I had got good shoes. I'd got brilliant shoes, in fact. I actually bought some Skechers. Proper Skechers. Don't know why, I just think of them as like mum trainers, I don't know. But anyway, they're really comfy, so I don't care. And they actually look really cool. But I think I've actually got like a picture of them, or like a little visual of them in a vlog. But got some Skechers for my back. And even though I still had back pain, I had my Ibergels, which is somewhere around here. Ibergels is basically just ibuprofen, but I hate saying that word, in like a, you know, creamy gel format that I could rub on my back whenever it was bad. Yeah, just way more prepared, so it was quite nice to go to London and not have the trauma from all the pain I felt before, because I'm in the week going up to London, I was doing Pilates and trying to just get some strength in my body so that I wouldn't be in so much pain. I was trying to be like, oh, quick, I've only got a week and I need to be strong to go to see Ethel Cain in London. I think it helped a bit. I'm definitely going to like get back to doing more Pilates though. But anyway, yeah, had a brilliant time. Obviously, I've got a whole vlog and story about the Ethel Cain situation, so definitely not going to go into that. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, get the flu. Right before Christmas. Thank God I'd done quite a lot. I'd basically done all my Christmas shopping at that point. But it was horrible. I couldn't even really wrap any presents. I couldn't feel the Christmas spirit. I felt when it got to Christmas Day, I was at least able to just sit down and be present, not just lying in bed dying. That was good, but it was still like, ugh, not the best. And then obviously, you know, the 5 days in between with like Christmas and New Year's. And then New Year's Eve was actually lovely. I had a really nice time. Stayed in with the boy, made mug cakes that went a little bit wrong, but nice all the same. We had a Chinese. We watched comedian stuff, and then we watched a bit of like animal programs. We love watching animal programs together. So yeah, it ended up being quite nice, and my daughter had a great Christmas. Like, we managed to go to my parents' house on Boxing Day when I was finally over the flu. They couldn't catch it at that point or anything like that. And on Boxing Day we treated it like Christmas Day, and it was beautiful, and it felt nice to laugh again and talk again and enjoy things like on a big level again after feeling so horrible with the flu. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, this has been going on forever. I don't know how much I'm going to be putting, how much I'll put in. I'll try and cut out bits that aren't that interesting, but I guess I don't know, it makes sense. Anyway, whatever, you know what I'm like. All my videos are long, whether it be a bloody reaction or just a normal talking thing. They are literally millions of years long, and there's not much I can do about that but find a way to shut up or wrap things up quicker, but I don't know how. Okay, I'm just so interesting. I can't cut all of it out when I'm so interesting. Do you really want to miss out on all my interesting parts of my life? No, didn't think so. Right, let's get into this tier list. I've got the smallest amount of battery on my laptop. Let's just hope it goes okay. I could go get the charger, but I can't be asked. Okay, so I did actually already make this tier list. How about I sit here and I'll just put it like here-ish. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so I'm only doing the albums that came out in 2022. Obviously, I've reacted to so many more albums on the channel in 2022, but I thought I didn't know, I felt like it would take I just talked for ages about my year. Imagine then having to watch me do a tier list with every album I've reacted to this year. I think we'd just die, so I don't think that's a good idea. If you really do want me to do that, I could do a separate video with all the other albums. But for now, we'll just do the albums that came out in 2022. I do accidentally have Bjork, the Atopos single that came out. But I've also got her actual album cover here. But anyway, let's just start at the start. So, Motomami. Okay, I would say, for me, Motomami, it's gonna start off kind of weird, but like, I loved the album. I thought it was really interesting. It was so simplistic, but impactful. Like, her vocals just ran the show and the beats ran the show. And my favourite songs on the album were the more like flamenco kind of sounds, where it was more classical and like felt warm and golden. I also liked the fun ones as well, but yeah, I just found that it was really interesting to listen to someone, you know, she's Spanish and she's extremely popular, and like, it's actually quite rare that we have a non-English speaker become so popular worldwide in a way. So I actually thought that was really kind of cool and epic. However, sadly, and I hate this, but I'm not necessarily talking about the album so much, but I'm talking about like my experience. Even though it's my most viewed video, which is fantastic, and it brought lots of brilliant people to the channel as well, it also brought some people that didn't quite understand what I was trying to say about things, people that misunderstood me, and people that were a little bit gatekeepy, a bit like, oh, it hits different when you know Spanish, you know, and it's like, okay, like, cool, but that's gatekeeping. That is literally saying, I can't enjoy it as much as you because I don't speak Spanish. And that might be the truth, but do we actually know that's the truth? Like, maybe that's the truth, but I don't know that. And like, it makes me feel like whatever enjoyment I have for the album will never be as much as someone that speaks Spanish. And it's a bit like, okay. So I already feel like I'm being made to not like it as much as other people. But anyway, that is obviously just silly. But also just people going on about like, she doesn't do autotune. It's not a trend. It's not for a trend. It's because of this and because of that. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, like, using autotune stylistically just is a trend, okay? And I mean it in a good way. Like, hello, how many people have I listened to on this channel that do autotune? And I said, that sounds so good. I even said it sounded good on the freaking Motomami album. I even said that it sounded good there. I was just saying she doesn't need to do it, but I could tell she's using it for a stylistic choice. Sorry, it still winds me up. But anyway, because of the experience being a little bit frustrating, I'm going to put it in B. And I don't think that that's bad. And I really like the album. Do I wish there was some, like, do I think it's my style of music completely? No. Do I think she sounded amazing and was phenomenal? Yeah. And did I enjoy listening to the album? Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I'm putting it in B, mainly because I really enjoyed the album, but also just didn't like some of the comments that were happening. Sorry, I keep rustling this bag down here. All right, now we're going to move on to FK Twigs. And I would say I like the other FK Twigs albums I've heard for Capri Suns a bit more. I nearly call it Capri Sun then. It is Capri Songs, isn't it? Not Capri Suns. I think it's Capri Songs. Anyway, obviously she's a Capricorn sun sign. Her sun sign is Capricorn. Whatever. Anyway, the amount of times I have to go anyway to myself just to stop myself in my tracks. So yes, I did like Capri Songs, but I have to admit, I don't feel like I've even listened to it that much since I first heard it. I listened to it a couple of times after I first heard it, and of course when I was editing. But yeah, I liked it, but I didn't love it. Like, there are a couple of songs on there that I really, really enjoyed, but not every song. And actually, maybe I just need to listen to it again. But because I can't really pinpoint what I love about it, when I think of like her LP1 was it? I never get the names right. When I'm on the spot, I never remember. But also Magdalene album, Mary Magdalene? Is it just called Magdalene? Oh, whatever. Those two albums I literally love. So it's kind of hard. Like, I don't want to compare them, but at the same time, I kind of have to. This is what a ranking thing is. So I'm going to put FKA in C. I feel bad, it's awful, but just know I love Twigs and I loved her, the albums I said. All right, I'm getting quite tired, by the way. I'm not drinking caffeine at the moment and I'm still like kind of croaky and whatever, but it's okay. I'm gonna get through it. Because I've talked so much already. Okay, so the next one is Shy Girl and her album Nymph. Whereas I did really enjoy it, I didn't enjoy it as much as Alias. Alias was just like no skips, just loved it all. And I know it was really short, but like I loved it. But with Nymph, like I actually really did like that one. I think I still need a little bit more time with it to get to love it even more. But yeah, I still wish it had a bit more Alias energy. I'm gonna put it in B, actually, I think. Just because it's above Twigs. No, you know what? I'm going to put it in C with Twigs. They're on par with each other. Like, it's a similar situation where it's like, didn't like it as much as their other stuff. That it's like one of those situations. Then we've got Poppy and her Stagger EP. I liked it. And again, it's relatively new, so I haven't like had too much time with it. I liked it, but I just love like her other stuff more again. Like I just do. It's like probably one of my least faves so far. No, not my Eat is my least fave, but I'm gonna put that one in. It's only 4 songs as well. So and like I think I liked I liked all the songs, but I only when I really think about it, I think I only really liked really liked one of them. So I feel like I'm gonna have to put it in D. God, we're not doing very well so far, are we? Right, next we've got Seb Delisa, Raving Dahlia. And again, short, very short, but I liked way more songs on there than I did with the Stagger from Poppy. I think there's only one song I didn't love, but actually it grew on me, but I don't love it. So I'd have to put Seb Delisa's. I wish it was longer. I really, really, really wish it was longer and it had more songs. But yeah, I have to take in consideration she's a new mum last year to her first child. So like, you know, I'm not trying to put pressure on her. But I'll put that one in. I don't want to be biased because I really love Seb Delisa and her other stuff. And the songs on this little EP, I really did like. You know what, I'm going to put it in B. Okay, Rina Sawayama, Hold the Girl. I swear I get that wrong all the time. Thought that was really cool album. Again though, I still loved her Sawayama album more. I just did. But there was a lot of meaningful moments on this album and a lot of cool like 2000s feelings that were just fun. I'm putting it in B. We haven't got an A or an S yet. Bloody hell. Okay, now we've got Fossera. Okay, so again, I would actually say Fossera is probably my second favourite. No. You know what? Fossera might be my first favourite Bjork album. I think it might be my favourite Bjork album. I think it is. Okay, but I still want to put it in B. I do. I want to put it in... No. I'm going to put it in C, actually, because I still don't think I liked it as much as the other ones here. Up in the B tier. I don't think I liked it as much as the ones in the B tier, if that makes sense. I was in kind of a darker place when I did this as well. So like, it's kind of hard to think about. I don't know, because because if I put her in C, it makes me feel, and yet it's my favourite album. Where would I rank her other albums? You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I just think amongst these artists, probably, and yeah, she's in C. For me. And I think that comes with the fact that, I've said this in a video before, I find it hard to listen to Bjork's music casually. I find it easy to analyse and like go when I want to deeply listen to it and feel it in certain ways. I find it very easy, but like, I can't just casually put on a Bjork song and be cool and just like go about my day. I personally can't. I find them, the moving parts are too intentional to just have on as background music for me personally. But anyway, now we've got Charlie, Crash, and I think this will be my first A, because I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. I really liked all the elements of it. I loved how pop it was. Like, it was super pop, but it didn't feel like overly mainstream. It felt like mainstream in like 2008. I don't know, like it had something to it. Still had that hyper pop, bright colours, like such a Charlie feel to it, right? But yeah, it was a little bit more mainstream. But I loved it. There's so many fun songs on there. I don't know, it's just like cute, makes me happy. It's sweet. It's easy to listen to at any given moment. Maybe not at a funeral. Well, probably like 20 minutes.
Okay, you're
Okay, cool.
okay.
Hello. Do you like my makeup?
I think you look like a parrot.
A parrot?
No, I mean the colours.
Look.
Yippee, it's cool.
It's the same.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
do you think that's cool?
Yeah, it's good. Be not.
I'll like give you my head like.
I do like it.
Okay, I'm just doing a video, so. Okay.
Speed
Thanks. I know, I found them.
Yeah.
Remember, I was like, I can only find the purple ones.
Oh, yeah.
No, but I found them. They were literally just not even hard to find.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, some people might want it played at their funeral, seeing as she did a whole music video based around a funeral when she did good ones, so who knows. But anyway, yeah, that's in the A tier. Okay, now we've got Ice Peak, and I would actually, I'm going to put this straight up to S tier. I know, pretty random that I'm doing that, but because like I feel like I don't talk about them often. But when I reacted to a Kiss of Death album, I loved every song and I had so much fun with it. It was such a cool blend of genres, just like Poppy. When I heard I Disagree, it, different sounds, but like the similar feeling of like feeling like really pumped, excited, having like the electronic sound with the metal, and then like all different genres, like hip hoppy sounds, like just had so much fun with it. It wasn't an overly long album either, but it wasn't really short. It just felt right. I just enjoyed it, and it felt like a little pocket of joy when I listened to it, and it was really fun to look into lyrics. It was fun to listen. I don't know. I loved it. I just loved it, and I do recommend it to anyone who likes Poppy. You'll probably like Ice Peak, especially the Kiss of Death album. Okay, now we got Renaissance with Beyonce. I'm going to put it in A, and the only reason, even though I loved it from start to finish, I really did, I feel like it was maybe a bit too long. Like there were some songs on there that maybe should have been deluxe tracks rather than part of the whole album. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I just feel like it was kind of long, and there's only so much head bobbing and like moving you can do, because it really was like a party throughout, wasn't it? But like songs like Plastic Off the Sofa and Virgo's Groove and stuff. Like, oh my god, just absolutely immaculate songs. S tier, honestly. But I'm gonna put it in A. Because I also have so many more Beyonce albums I need to listen to, and I loved Lemonade. I think I'd put Lemonade in. Oof. Nah, they're both on par. Like Lemonade and Renaissance, I would put them on. Do you know what? I don't know, but it's going in A. It's going in A. Okay, we've now got Aurora, Gods We Can Touch, and I'm going to put that straight up an S tier. And the reason is like, I feel like I've had all of Aurora's albums prior, and I really loved them all, but I actually feel like I love this album more than any album she's put out. I've listened to it the most, the sounds on it, just like I could feel them the most, the lyrical content I feel the most. There's a maturity to it that I really enjoy, and she's still so Aurora, but I loved all the different sounds, and she really played with genres here, and getting to see her play it live was just like, phenomenal, like an experience just unbelievable. And whereas sometimes I do get a little bit frustrated with some of the fans because they often think I don't care about Aurora, I don't care about that whole situation. I just love her, and I know what I love, so yeah. Alright, now we got Florence and the Machine. Dance Viewer, S tier. Instant S tier. Yeah, but my favourite, this is also my favourite Florence album. Isn't it funny, like, you know, so like I've heard like Rena's stuff, I've had Twix's stuff, you know, prior, but I like their prior stuff more than their newer stuff. Yet up here, I like the newer ones more than the older ones for some reason. Even though I loved Aurora's albums, I love all of them, but like, yeah, I just love this one so much. But then also, but with Florence, I just love the journey I've been on with Florence. Like, I started off being a hater. Not a hater. Well, no, I was a hater. And then, and then just to like be now a complete like super fan. Like, I love Dance View. Do you know what? I want to listen to it, right? Do you know what? I might play Sims later when I'm in bed and just put that on my headphones and just listen to Dance Fever. I just need to hear it. Like, oh, so good. Absolutely no skips again. Beautiful album. Felt every moment of it. Oh my God, I love it. And then last but not least, we have Ethel Cain, Preacher's Daughter. And I am going to just put that in S tier. I'm sorry, I'm biased. I am, yeah. Because I got to meet Ethel and her mum and grandma and stuff, and it was a beautiful, amazing time. But I'm not just being biased, actually. I like love her, the album, and the experience I had when listening to the album was so good, especially because I had no idea who she was. Before listening to her, and then to find out there was a whole story within the album, and the fact that she produced it herself, she, you know, like, is very independent, but had such a Lana Del Rey feeling, mixed with Caroline Polachek, a mix of like trip hoppy feels, but like a slow rock, and like just so many influences, and like, just touched me. And like, yes, there is a little part of me that wants to put it in A, because there's a lot of songs on there that I can't listen to casually, because they are heavy, but they are also just so masterful that I have to put it in S tier. And a lot of this is based off the reaction as well. So yeah, there you have it. I feel a bit bad having Poppy down here, but it's nothing to do with Poppy, honestly. Because I when I listened to Am I a Girl this year, loved it. That would be up an S tier for me. Actually, probably an A tier. But and then I Disagree would be an S tier easily. So it's nothing to do with Bobby. I just didn't love this EP. And same with Twigs, like, and Björk. Like, can you believe I put Björk actually in C when I've listened to so many of her albums and loved it? I don't know. There's just something about it, but I have to have a different headspace to listen to Björk, and this is just how I feel today. But anyway, I hope that you are okay with this. And I hope it gives you an idea of what the sounds I like as well. So when you go and write your comments going, I think you'd like this, you can get a good idea of what I actually like. But yes, let's stop that now. But yes, anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I've been recording for nearly 2 hours, and most of it was me just talking about my year. I hope you did enjoy and got something out of it though, or maybe just got to know me a little better. I'm really excited for this year. I'm going to be starting my new channel. I'm going to do quite a lot of random things on there, I feel, but it'll be fun, and obviously it won't be monetized until I get 1,000 subscribers. And so I very much I'm excited to get on the journey of trying to gain the subscribers, like 1,000 again. Of course, on my main channel I am striving for more and more and more subscribers as I go, but like it will be fun to also go from the beginning again and like try and gain more through a different type of content, you know. I'm just very grateful that I'm in a good place after such a weird end of the last year, and I'm so grateful that I got to listen to all this great music and I just love you all so much. And yeah, anyway, let's bring on 2023, and yes, I shall see you next time. Bye.